Today, we're going to talk about the purpose of planning in Materio. So, I know it's really easy to rush into the design phase of your project, throwing out ballpark numbers to your clients, and that is okay. But what Materio can do is help you get a little bit more specific on your outline and your estimates or your allowances up front. So, you'll notice here on my screen that I have a mood board because I'm going to be doing a primary bath on a home, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can plan this out in Materio within minutes. So in Materio, we have a scope generator. I'm going to click Start Outline. I'm going to select the locations in this house. For this, it's just going to be one full bathroom. We have some defaults here. I'm going to unselect those. And then you'll notice I'm able to select the types of categories of work that will be on this project. So we're going to have some demolition, and then these little sub selectors, those are items. So as I select those, it's going to bring items into my project for me. So for this one, I know that I'm going to have some sconces and chandeliers. You can always go back in and add things later. And then I'm going to have plumbing. I'm going to have all of these, and then I'm going to have some tile, and I'm going to have all of these. All right, so this is going to help me get started really, really fast on my bathroom project. It's also going to help me think through. We have these default categories to help you remember the things that are needed on your project. All right. So we're gonna, then it gives you the opportunity to do the markup on your project. This is also another way you can pause and think about the way you wanna do this. Oftentimes you're probably gonna do this the same way for all of your projects, so you'll probably get really used to that way. But what I'm gonna do on mine is put a 40% markup on all of my items. This isn't going to be visible to my client. This is gonna be baked into their price, but it's gonna save me that step of individually putting my markup in. Of course, you can always customize this per item. All right, so we're off to a great start here. We already have an outline for our project, and we can go in and we can start to quickly add prices. So you'll probably already know the estimated prices for the types of, uh, the level of finishes that you're using. I can quickly go in, I can mark the plan. For me, this is actually a mood board, so I can mark that, and Materio is going to estimate those quantities for me. I can also come in and quickly do my pricing, my tax, and then I can also mark the plans and update those quantities. So you'll see in a matter of seconds, I've already got my estimates and my quantities in for electrical. So I can just keep going. This is really fast in Materio. You can just click and then add. For the bathroom sink, of course, we don't have a plan in this page yet, so in this project yet, so we're just gonna put in our estimated price. So you can just quickly go in. If you need to dive in and you want to add something like a description, you can come in here and say um, what you want to about the item. And you can say things like, that you've talked to your client about. You can go ahead and put that in. You can also, of course, always come in and estimate here. We make it really easy to do it on the front end of your scope, but you can always click in and do that. So you'll notice it's a really, really quick way for me to go ahead and go in and organize these things. And then, of course, if you wanted to add any sort of fee on top, you could do that. And then if you want to come in and add something like design services, you're just going to go to edit your categories, and then you're going to select design services. So oftentimes, I know as designers, we're going to go in and put our um, hourly rate here. I'm just going to press enter to save that. And then I'm going to do my hourly rate here. I'm going to get rid of my markup, and then my quantities, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to change it to hour, and I'm going to estimate the amount of hours that I'm going to need for this job. So right away, you'll see that I have my labor or my design services estimate here, and then I have all of my product that I'm outlining and planning to give to my client. The great thing about Materio's scope generator is also it knows that these things are selections. So when you come over to your selections workspace, your outline is already there. You've taken that few minutes to plan, and now you have a place where your team can come in, they can see the budgets for your items, they can go into your library, they can choose options, or of course, they can source their own options. And there you go. Within a matter of seconds, you've got options to send to your client, you've got your scope outlined. And then one more thing I want to touch on in the beginning of planning is whether or not you want to share this with your client up front. The scope of work, or whether you want to wait. So we now have the ability to turn this off. So right now, this scope you can see is in draft, which means that even if I went in and shared this with my client, they could come in, they could communicate and comment with me on this plan, but they're not going to see the scope of work. And then you can publish that to them when you're ready to share that with them. It's one really helpful way to start to plan out while you're also going through that design phase with your clients. I hope this is helpful. If you have any more questions about planning and Materio, you can always reach out to us at hello@materio.co.